Good evening, folks, or good day. Welcome to the Link to the Past All Dungeons RMG tournament. We're actually progressing fairly nicely. It's winner's bracket, round number 5. And we have a classic here, Buane versus Daotmb. And without further ado, because you know how I roll, let's mute the music and let's dive onto the layout and let's say hi to the two comms for today, to Ace and to M. Kotler. What's up, guys?
What is up, Trez? We got a fantastic Legend of Zelda Link to the Past All Dungeons RMG match coming up. Between, I believe this is our winners bracket finals, between Daotmb and Buane. Like Trez said, my name is M. Kotler, joined today by Ace Zero. How you doing this afternoon? I guess it's right around noon.
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Definitely looking forward to a good match. Obviously, these two guys got to the finals for a reason.
Winners bracket, so undefeated so far in the bracket side for both of these players. Buane came into the bracket stage as the 3 seed, Dao as the 9 seed. Dao having to go through a pretty tough gauntlet, beating our world record holder Zelda pretty early on in the bracket stage, followed by taking down Andy in the winners bracket semifinals to get to this stage. Buane having to go through some scrub named Apathy Duck to finally fight an actual worthy opponent in Area, which he took down to get to here. Going to be exciting to see who goes on to the grand finals. We aren't going to be, neither of these runners are out of the tournament if they lose, because it's winners bracket. We have a losers bracket. Whoever loses here, it will be waiting a little bit to face either Arior or the winner of the Andy Louie match. While the winner gets to take a little bit of a break as they wait for their opponent in the grand finals. Making our way through Escape. We're it's winners bracket grand final or winners bracket finals. We've got not really much to talk about here that you wouldn't have heard if you've watched any of our other streams. It's just nice movement, making sure everything, making sure you don't take too much damage. Only real interesting part of this entire escape sequence is the ball and chain guard, which we're going to see both of our runners likely do the 8/, unless something goes pretty wrong. Which Zelda is this? Yes, it is the one on the GBA, except they backported it to the SNES. This is one of those like re-releases, like in the late 2000s, where it finally made its way to China. They put it on the IQ, and that's what we're playing right now. Ace. You know anything? You got anything on these runners? You watch these runners that much? Just doing their practice or in the tournament?
I've seen a couple of Dao's matches. I don't actually think I've caught any of Buane's so far this tourney. But obviously, both fantastic runners. I guess it would be nice to mention the fact that Dao is number 9 seed, so kind of surprising to be at the finals, but it just shows his consistency and how more important that is in this category in a tournament setting over just sheer, who's got the best PB in this category. That's not necessarily what's going to win you the race, because he doesn't have the best PB, but he's played really consistently. Every race he's put up has been just right on the money.
Yeah, it's definitely a different mentality that you're doing when you're doing a race versus a PB grind. A PB grind, you screw up, you can always just hit that reset button, try again, or put the game down. Here you screw up, and that could mean losing a lead, falling even further behind, all that.
Yeah, and then having to play more aggressively to try to make it up and do riskier strats, just
absolutely
even more dangerous.
Yes, Duck informing me that yes, you can hit the reset button in here as well as he did in his group stage match. Though I would definitely not recommend it to anyone to do that, especially in the winners bracket finals. I don't think that you can get away with a death to ball and chain and then resetting.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But luckily, these two both made it through no problem. Both 2.5 hearts, so no risk of anything going wrong in the back half either, or having to waste any time picking up an extra heart under a pot or anything.
Dow having a little bit of trouble getting around that dais there, but that's actually one of the harder little movements in the entire escape sequence. I've definitely seen, especially runners who are newer to this game, just get stuck on that. What else would it be? Duck.
I don't know what it's supposed to be. I thought it was like a bookshelf as a kid that for some reason just looked really weird.
Yeah.
But I'm not really sure I see that as an adult. Like looking back at it, I don't know what it is.
Mr. Hoity took a garage. You know, see what type of rats we got. Ooh, Buane with a very nice rat. And Dow with not the worst rat, but and was able to handle it pretty well with that diagonal boom.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't actually know what a dais is. I've heard the word, but never used it. So I'm not gonna weigh in on whether or not that's what that is or not.
Yeah. You know what? I don't either. It just sounds correct. Both of our runners getting through escape pretty darn well. It looks like Buane with the hold on, my resolution is making it hard for me to read. Is that a 550? Can you see on your end?
I'm having the same issue.
I think it's a 550 because Dow is a 552, and Buane was about 2 seconds ahead. So both pretty good escapes. Here we're going to see our first potential divergence of these two runners. Gonna see if either of them go for the citrus scope. Looks like Buane is going for citrus, and Dow sticking with what got him here, not going for it. We'll see if Buane is able to capitalize on the potential time save. Looks like he's having some issues getting started, but does eventually make it in. So it looks like he's going to enter in with about a 115. We're going to see Dow entering in at a 117-ish, so gets a couple seconds on Dow, but not nearly as much as you can get from a citrus.
Yeah, still saving time though, so definitely still worth getting.
Eastern, much like Escape, is pretty rudimentary. You're not really going to see much different here than what you'd see in basically any speedrun. Dow cutting a little close on that downward movement. I was a little worried if he was going to trigger the some of the extra Stalfos in that room, but did not do so.
Yeah, so unlikely we'll see anything too interesting here. We might see an issue in the back half of the dungeon with the red Igors. I know even at this level, sometimes runners will get a little too early with their first arrow shot, maybe on one of those. That happened in a recent race in the tournament. That definitely cost a few seconds.
Yeah. There's definitely been some ZGR room shenanigans. Buane with a much nicer deboost for the Eastern Palace Big Key than Dao. Not much of a difference in there, but every little bit counts in these first few splits. Though, really, like Ace said earlier, it's way more about consistency and not bleeding a large chunk of time out from later on in the run with failed glitches and whatnot. Both of our runners sitting at 1.5 hearts, so should be safe from going too fast in this anti-fairy room. Buane onto that ZGR. Ooh. Pretty poor pattern for Buane here, having to clean up these Stalfos. Meanwhile, Dao gets a much better pattern and gained tons of time on Buane there. Oh, but there we go. Just as you mentioned.
Just missed that arrow off to the right. And he has to wait a whole nother cycle, so has to just literally do nothing, wait around for Igor to open back up. Both executing the Armos fight pretty much perfectly, so as expected at this level. That's a fairly standard fight. Very rare that one goes wrong.
So Buane with a 10:26, Dao with a 10:34. About 12 seconds between. Sorry, I can't math. 8 seconds between both of our runners. Easily anyone's game. Dao giving us a little wobble going on with that move there. Decided to take a look to the left, to the right. Both runners picking up their bombs here. So no one's going for the hot sword buffer strats.
Yeah, but now we get into the real fun stuff. And all the glitches, all the things that make this category really exciting.
Buane just going for the straight up early dash. Ooh, not getting that first spin speed, but gets it the second try. Here we're going to see Dao doing the walk up. Much safer, though slower version of that particular room. Or screen. I guess it's not really a room. Dao once again giving us these left and right looks. I know when I played with Dao in One Mind at GDQ, he was always worried because Dao plays on a SNES Classic, and he was always worried whenever he had to play on regular SNES that he was accidentally left and righting because the amount of force and effort that he was doing to pump on a SNES Classic and the SNES Classic controller was significantly more than what you would need for an old school controller. So maybe that's causing him to look left and right there. Both of our runners getting the Kiki Yeet pretty well. Buane getting hit immediately by that mini Moldor. I'm going to have to redo the bonk.
Yeah, and then the longer it takes, after getting hit by the first one, he's got to clear the second one out, too, because it just gets in the way. The longer you're in that room, the more dangerous the Moldorms get. The more time they can just suck away from you. And with that, Dao takes the lead. Just by a second, but that one trick was a handful of seconds lost. Plenty of time for that to happen again.
Yeah, Buane also having to pick up an extra heart because of the extra bit of damage that he took in that screen. Though they're both now at 4 hearts, so both of them should be able to get up to full as long as nothing wild happens. on the way to hammer jump. Buane having a little issues opening up that chest, but ended up doing fine. Ooh, Dao getting hit by the bomb on the way down through the hole there.
I mean, still at 3 hearts, so he's still safe. It's just gonna cost him a little bit of time having to refill 1 extra heart before going to the back of the dungeon.
Yeah, the only real issue there, and it looks like we had a chest in there from Buane. The only real issue there is if he doesn't get, like, he fully attempts a hammer jump and doesn't make it, then he wouldn't be able to reattempt at 3 hearts, because you take one damage from the bomb plus 1 damage from falling into the hole. Whereas Buane would be able to do another attempt if he had the same issue.
And both skipping that key, so obviously that's a very rare thing that's going to happen. Super unlikely that either of these runners misses the hammer jump, but by not getting that key early, if they were to miss it, they can't go through the door and go around the other way.
It's very, very true. Dao getting the heart refill drop from the mini Helma, Buane not. So they're both going to have to pick up 2 pots when they go into Sexy Statue Room. Nobody's going to be able to save that little extra bit of time. There's also a very minor divergence in the 2 runners. Buane picking up the bomb on the way to the shooter key, whereas Dao picked up both bombs in front of the hammer jump. Buane having a little bit of issue, but gets through it. Dao, much cleaner. Ooh, Buane with the bonk. Actually loses you quite a bit of time relative to other bonks, because you're going to have to wait for that spike to go back and forth so that you don't accidentally get hit. Because you definitely want to be on an odd number of hearts, or 5 specifically, to when you're heading for this upcoming boss fight.
Yeah, that was a heads-up play from Buane, too, to wait on that arrow drop just that tiny bit. He would only be at 1. This way now he's got a couple extras. If things go real wrong on Helmasaur King, he's going to be able to use arrows for a little bit more of a safe finish. Hopefully he's going to not need that, be able to use his hammer, but things can go wrong in this fight in particular. Both with good turtle rooms. No,
very good turtle rooms.
Super bad RNG where the turtle just hides in the corner.
Right. Buane saw in the turtle room that his bottom 2 turtles kind of separated instead of gone the same direction. So he went and killed the top turtles, because those are the ones that are going to flip first. And you just have way more time to go kill the bottom turtles. It loses you a little bit of time, but it's going to save you time over if one of the turtles actually flips. Ooh, Buane taking an immediate hit, having to play some dodgeball right here. Gets through the fight pretty well. Dao also working on his kill. Oh, and does a nice hammer poke dash for the last hit to finish it off. 2 pretty darn good fights outside of Buane's initial Helmasaur kiss.
Yeah, that was really good recovery, especially with the immediate fireball right after that damage. That's where things can get wrong, is you get hit, then you get fireballs on the screen as Helmasaur is moving. It becomes really difficult to dodge that. Dodge the movements or the tail swipes in conjunction with the fireballs. So luckily, Helmasaur didn't really move at him while he was dodging the fireballs.
So we had a lot of back and forth between that, but I think we're going to end up with just about the same time difference, 8 seconds or so between both of our runners coming out of this. Buane with a 28, and Dao with a 32. So Dao actually gained a couple seconds on there. On our way to Tower of Hera. Gonna be seeing this clip rather frequently. Ooh, Dao just like 1 or 2 pixels too high. And so he got to a point where he couldn't actually lift or jump off of the ledge, so he had to back out and try again, losing him a little bit of time. Luckily, he did not get pummeled by the cabbages there on Death Mountain.
Yeah, both runners also here getting no defense from that Moldorm. They're both able to get the key, which is nice to see. Moldorms are jerks.
Absolutely.
All the time.
Buane with a nice boom dash there to get his coffee break. Dao not even attempting the boom dash, just going to ignore his coffee break and have to pay a little bit of attention on this tower room section. Once again, call out to any glitch hunters out there. If you can find a glitch that's allowed in the restricted major glitches rule set that gets through this tower room, it would be fantastic. And saves time. Well, if we can't actually do it in a way, if we can't actually get to the spot in a way that follows the restricted major glitch rule set that saves time, then it basically doesn't exist, in my opinion. Okay, Buane setting up for an early Hera bomb jump, and the nice chest turn. I believe we're at 1-1.
Dao with a more traditional, nice spin speed buffer, or not spin speed, sorry, just a spin buffer on that ledge for the bomb jump.
Mm-hmm.
But pretty darn close at the same time, anyway. Especially if you drop the bomb on your way up. You don't, instead of getting set up first, drop the bomb and then get lined up in the right spot. Doesn't take too much extra time.
Right. Buane does, because he used the mini buffer to hammer, Buane does sort of gain a mini buffer of time over Dao, who has to switch to hammer later on. Both runners undeterred by the annoying worm in Tower of Hera.
Yeah, it looks like Dao playing it pretty safe there. It looked like he might have been able to get a hit earlier than he did, but he didn't want to get too close and accidentally get bopped into the hole. So
yeah, absolutely.
Cost him a couple seconds to play real safe, but better than getting the double hole and losing, well, possibly the race right there. That's a huge time loss.
So our runners making their way off of Death Mountain, both doing the traditional bonk route. Nobody going for the 50 frame time save that could lose you a million years. I guess it only loses you Tower of Hera, but that's a lot of time.
Yeah, any time loss in the order of minutes is too much in a race like this against either of these opponents.
Absolutely. Thieves Town itself, not much. Not much different between an NMG run and all dungeons, or really any run that goes through Thieves Town that's not in the major glitches category. Only real thing is we're a little less equipped than before. A lot of these enemies that we're dashing through would normally just get insta-killed with our Master Sword, but here we have to pay a little bit more attention to them. didn't quite see if Dao getting completely bullied in Hellway. I feel like Buane had a decent Hellway. I don't know if he actually got God Pixel.
I believe he did. Either that or it was a quick adjustment to
Yeah.
get through unscathed.
Yeah. Okay, good. That had one of those crickets, grasshoppers, whatever you want to call them, sort of right in the door. Once again, because you don't have the Master Sword, you end up in some situations where those guys can still hit you as you're dashing through them. And those guys would do 2 hearts of damage, and that would be at 1 heart. So Dao is definitely going to have to play it a lot more safe than Buane, who's obviously riding high with the full health here.
Nice heart drop from the red Zazik, though.
Mm-hmm.
Still 4 means 2 hits for most of these enemies would be dead, but should be fine. He's through with the most of it.
Did see a slight route divergence again, or a strategy divergence, I guess. Buane did the bomb throw strat, which means he's going to have to pick up an extra bomb somewhere along the way, whereas Dao conserved his bomb for just running around and hammering everything in that room. Obviously loses you time in that particular room, and I think overall loses you time, but you don't have to worry about getting an extra bomb or the Stalfos itself being annoying and not getting hit by the bomb, things like that.
Yeah, and of course, a lot of runners have slightly different bomb routes with what strats they do. For example, the clip on the way to Desert, the overworld clip. I know Buane does the spin speed clip there. I don't know if Dao uses a bomb, so that might even out the bomb count right there.
It's very, very true.
Disregarding other drops and such. Both runners with no problem with the blind script, as expected. Get him killed on the left side of the lighted square, meaning they did it as intended, or as they intended to do it.
You can kill blind basically a lot further left than that. Mostly if you have beams with the Master Sword. I don't really know exactly how far left you can kill blind if you just have the Fighter Sword. Yeah, you missed trivia, Anders. The trivia was we had no trivia. So Buane extending his lead, making it to about 20 seconds between our two runners. Looking like Buane also not going for the frog door strat, just going for the old, safe, and not even that much slower double quick warp. And Dao not even attempting the frog door strat himself. So both of our runners doing the same. Apple farmers.
Wait, what? Apple farmers?
Don't
For
worry
causing power outages?
I'm just trying to meme for Anders. Apple farmers was the very first answer to a trivia that Anders gave.
I see.
I believe the trivia was what's the occupation of the lumberjacks in this game?
Apple farmers make sense. I know there's a tree right nearby you can bonk into and apples will fall out.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any on that particular screen. there's one I definitely have bonked into on accident several times.
I used to bonk into it on purpose. No, it's what's Link's occupation in the manga. Okay, interesting.
Oh.
And his uncles. Okay.
Interesting.
Ooh, Dao not getting the fence dash. I believe Buane did get the fence dash, so basically Buane's race to lose at this point. Oh, unfortunate as well. Though that's probably, of the possible skull bushes, that's probably the most fortunate skull bush.
Yeah, it definitely feels a little bit better than like these three right there that I was just dashing through, especially.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can get a little awkward, especially if you get the Ropa. It gets in a weird position afterwards.
Yep.
Can get in your way.
Ooh. Dao having to... Oh, Dao in a really awkward position here. Having to deal with these Gibdos.
Yeah, that's a good tell for Dao's consistency to just kill the Gibdos when it gets a little off. It would have been faster if he was able to manipulate them again out of the way, but it's you don't really have a script for that once it goes wrong the way that it did, which definitely happens. It's a really tough room, and so good heads-up play just to know I can definitely kill them pretty quickly. I know what I'm doing just to get them out of here.
Right. You are in kind of an awkward situation with killing them, because you're very likely to have beams still at that point, and beams make trying to kill those Gibdos significantly slower than just being able to hit them. Though we're in kind of a situation where most likely the beams would have gotten eaten by hitting one of the walls before it got to hitting the Gibdos. Overall, just an annoying spot for Dao to have to be in.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But, you know, saving the health means the back half of the dungeon's pretty safe. It's easy to take a hit back here, either in the Mummy Hellway or potentially a hit to Mothula, so it doesn't have to think about his health at all, since he was able to clean that up nicely.
Buane with an excellent moth fight.
Yeah, nice double hit to start it off, it looks like.
Not even seeing any of the skull or the spikes move. Getting the data sweat from Dao. We'll see what that exactly means. Dao also
yeah, those are
with a very, very good one.
Again, no spikes move, like you mentioned, Kozler on Buane's side. Dao did the same. Killed him before a single spike moved out of position.
So, I feel like, if anything, Dao still probably lost time to Buane in there because of Mummy Statue Room. Looking like Buane is at a 32 on his time, 39 on his time. We're going to see where Dao is. Dao with the 00. So yeah. 21 seconds between the two.
Yeah, still plenty of race left. Definitely not a solid enough lead for Buane to feel comfortable.
But Dao really is looking for Buane to start making little mistakes if he wants to try to eat into this, as opposed to needing a big error from Buane. Got a little help there with a failed spin speed, but he's gonna make a mistake here in a second. That's a matter of opinion.
What, to do the spin speed clip?
Yes,
instead
as
of the bomb
opposed
clip?
to the bomb clip. Chex has a trivia question.
I mean, I'm gonna have to agree with Duck on this one, but not for the sake of it, because the other clip's faster, just because it's so much safer.
Oh.
The bomb clip ends up getting you out of the way of the parabombers a little bit more. But if you can do the spin speed clip reliably, it's a great strat.
Mm-hmm. So here we are seeing Buane go for his spin speed clip. And nails it first try. No annoying bombs in the way.
Very nice. Ooh, really? That was a really good clip there. To the left. I know it's really easy to overdo that one since you move 2 pixels to the left on those buffers. Then you have to go back to the right, but Buane just nailed it instantly.
You're not wrong, Anders. Both of our runners doing their version of the clip very well. Gonna see Dao, as you said, for Dao, he went over by 1 pixel, so he had to move back by 1.
That's a good trivia question. I don't know the answer. If you give me like, I don't know, 30 minutes to start up a game on my US version and find out, I'll let you know.
Buane seems to be, just noticing over the run, Buane seems to be having some issues with his spin speeds here. He attempted the spin speed on the desert spin speed, but failed that one. Dao as well, though, not able to gain time there. Link looking like he's patting that Igor on the shoulder. And on to our... Wow. Yo-ho. On to our Landmo fight.
Very nice 1 cycle from Buane. Good patterns. None of those Landmos jumped way to the left or right to make him chase after them. First one in particular, jumping left, is really tricky to get without getting too far out of the way to miss the second Landmo hits. We'll see what Dao can do.
Dao also with a nice
all vertical patterns to get a nice RNG and handles it perfectly. Very well done.
So, don't really feel like Dao had much of an opportunity to gain any time in Desert. Though Meyer is one of our most heavily glitched sections of the game. So this will be a big opportunity for Dao to gain some time, if possible.
Yeah, I'm not sure if either of these runners... I can't remember if either of them go for the bomb jump. I know if Buane does, I know he was outspoken against it initially, the Meyer bomb jump. I don't know if he came around and decided to add it into his runs or not, as he's improved his time.
Well, we'll be able to see pretty darn quick. He decides to kill that berry there that has the key. Usually that's a sign that you're... Ooh. Wasn't paying enough attention to Dao's side, but it looked like Dao... Did Dao get the... No, he couldn't have gotten the spike key. Interesting. What is Dao's plan here?
I'm not sure. Yeah, he went immediately up in that room to get the key.
Yeah, he was playing it as if he was doing NMG instead of AD.
As well. I'm not sure if that's...
Yeah, he's definitely playing as if he's doing NMG.
Yeah.
Be pretty, especially if you're like going back and forth between categories, it can be pretty easy to sort of mentally mix it up in your head, because these are percentage-wise. Nah, you couldn't even say that. I was gonna say percentage-wise about the same time, but no, you can't even say that. This is closer to the middle. Looks like neither of our runners are going for the bomb jump.
Yeah,
so we're gonna see.
I've got to figure out how to correct this most efficiently, which I don't know.
Very likely what Apathy said, but he doesn't have... Yeah, he's gonna have to come in here, hit this switch, and then back out. We actually have to have this key, because we use this key to open the door when we're in Swamp Palace, because the game still technically thinks... The game never changes the dungeon ID, so it thinks we're basically still in Meyer, so it lets us keep that key that we picked up when we were in Meyer. So, and we have to have at least a key to get through the door from the lever, the water lever room, which we're going to see Buane do just about now.
Yeah, Buane having a little bit of trouble with that clip. It takes a lot of buffers and then pops out on the first attempt. Gets the second attempt nicely. Does get the extra lag from his hammer hitting the pegs there, though. Interesting choice. But yeah, I actually didn't know which chests have small keys in Misery Mire. I honestly didn't know that one was the key. So heads up for Dao to know that.
Yeah, Dao with a little annoying. Having to deal with that mini mold arm. Ooh, Dao moving up
as well.
One too many.
Yeah, it's the same error Buane made on his first attempt.
Makes it through second try. Yeah, again, if Dao is hoping to just sort of claw his way back in, he needs to shore up this stuff and hope that this stuff transfers over to Buane as opposed to him having to do it. We are all back in safe land. No potentials for weird locks or getting locked out on Dao's side. Buane about to make his way to the spooky action. Area, I guess. Basement of Misery Mire. Ooh, tried to cut under that Stalfos, and it stopped right in its tracks. Buane nailing that spooky. Dao, because he picked up the the magic the first time through, he needed to go pick up the magic over here. And also having a little issue with setting up the setting the Samaria block on the Switch.
It looks like that still should have worked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think he killed Spooky. It's just a time loss. Ooh, unfortunate.
Maybe not.
Yeah, it looks like something did happen with the Spooky. So, a little more time loss from Dao's side.
Yeah, a little more time. Another bomb used as well that he's going to have to be aware of, or to fix.
Yep, depending on whether he uses the Samaria block or a bomb to escape from the back of Bombable 4 and Ice Palace, he's going to have to either pick up the 3-drop of bombs in the Watergate area, or 2 bombs when he's in Swamp Palace. Down to 1 heart, but it does make it through. So yeah, pretty significant time loss here for Dao. I think he basically just needs to play... at this point, he needs to play for Buane making a mistake. If he wants to make this this time loss up, because both these runners, obviously all of our runners still left in the tournament, very highly skilled, high caliber players in this category and in basically all categories in this game. So can't really hope for just gaining all this up over just a better movement and whatnot.
Absolutely, and it's also at this point outside the realm of the RNG swing that can happen as well, which of course you don't count on because it's just as likely that you have the bad RNG,
right?
And your opponent who's ahead gets the good RNG, the 0 or 1 blue balls where you get 4. Yeah,
and this is wide enough that it would need to be some pretty significant luck.
Yeah, there are still definitely a couple of tricky points and a few more easy chances to lose a lot of time. Obviously, the mirror wrapped Ice Palace is the riskiest one that remains.
Right.
So we'll see if, potentially if Buane's watching, he might opt to take it just a tiny bit slower for that trick in particular, to make sure he doesn't transition the screen too high or anything like that and get the hard lock.
Yeah. There's honestly a couple of spots. It's like you mentioned, the mirror wrap. If he attempts the broken camera ice rod and then something goes wrong where he can't pick up his bomb and can't lay another bomb, right. That's a save and quit. And that's a pretty, unless you know the backup clips to get all your way back there, that's a pretty significant walk to get back to that area. Because remember, we're never picking up flute at this point, so you can't just like flute back to 8. You're gonna have to run around or swim around or whatever.
Yeah. The teleport is if he knows the setup, if you know the backup setup, the teleport's easy. But you have to know it, and the visuals are a little weird because you're not sure. Your camera's dislodged, so
right.
Not one thing you tend to practice a lot, because in a PB attempt, you're not gonna probably continue with a run that does that. Once you get it right away.
Yeah, having a little issues with that diver down.
Yeah, Buane just had a fantastic Argus fight, by the way. Got the zero cycle. It was very well done. Definitely one of the tougher, possibly the toughest of the quick kills to get.
Really, really nice swamp overall. Looked like a 355. Now having some issues cleaning it up, but does at least clean up the one cycle. Doesn't get any additional movements. So we see Buane using a bomb to get on by out of there. Here we see Dao at 4 bombs, so he's either going to have to use the Samaria to get out of the back of Ice Palace bombable floor, or another, also should interrupt myself, a very good icebreaker.
Yeah,
Buane using his patented sub-pixel manipulation nonsense. He's got a video on it if you want to learn his tricks of the trade. But yeah, we were talking about Dao's bomb count. He's either going to have to use a Samari block, or he's going to have to go pick up a bomb somewhere else along the route.
Which, if he uses the bomb, the additional one in GT is probably his best bet. Was that correct?
Yeah, that would be the best one for him.
Yeah, the Samaria block is
GT
fine
or
as long as you get blocked
TR.
by the berry.
GT or
Oh, that's
TR.
right, in the peg maze at the end of the dungeon. I always forget that's there.
Dao having some issues here with this mirror wrap. It's at 3rd try. Every fails something like 4 seconds. Ooh, Buane taking a hit from the falling ice, but does end up cleaning that up pretty well. So there we go. Yep. So using a bomb, so he's gonna have to go pick up a bomb somewhere along the way.
Yeah, the bomb makes sense, especially just with Dao's strategy so far. It removes the RNG from the berry, since if you use the Samaria block, you can just get blocked, and there's not a lot you can do about it. So
sure,
he's shown that in a couple other rooms, like in Thieves Town as well. Opting not to use the bomb on the Stalfos to take RNG out of the equation as much as possible, just to be consistent. Because the going out of the way for that bomb at this point, he knows he's behind enough that isn't going to make that's not going to make much of a difference. Yes, just play consistently as best he can and count on something to go wrong for Buane, which so far has not. Hopefully for Buane that does not happen.
Yeah, someone brought it up in another commentary. I don't remember exactly who, so I can't really give credit to it. But where there's sort of different levels of what you do when you're behind. If you're not that far behind, you feel like you can make it up by just doing things, doing a little riskier strats that end up being a little bit faster, things like that. There's that level. But when you get as far behind as Dao currently is, it's really not to your advantage to play risky, because at this point it's almost entirely reliant on what Buane does for Dao to get back into the run. Buane pretty much has to do something that lets Dao get in there. So it's better for you to not put yourself in a risky situation where, even if, say, Buane does do something that screws it up, even if he does do something, well, you've been playing risky and it caused you to lose even more time, so that even that risky thing that Buane might have done isn't quite enough.
Right.
So yeah, I think for Dao, he's basically just trying to keep it realistic here. He's basically just needs to play how he normally plays, and just hope for Buane to make a mistake. Though we're kind of running out of significant opportunities. Death in GT, on the way up in GT, would probably do it. But we're basically done with any of our real giant glitch opportunities to lose it via a major glitch.
Yeah, and Wayne so far in this segment doing things really nicely, getting that quick TR climb, quick mirror wrap. Yeah, and again, Dao playing it safe, walking around the Ice Rod Cave and not even attempting the.
Well, Dao did attempt the broken camera, but when he didn't get the hook speed, he had already menued. He'd already started the menu, so he figured it would have been better to not go back to hook and then have to menu again.
Yeah, I was going to ask too. I saw Buane when he dropped the bomb to open the wall here in Turtle
He
Rock,
turned around. I don't know if there's
a time save, or is that?
I don't know if there's really any significance to that. I've always just done it facing up, because you don't really get any propulsion
knockback from the bomb.
Yeah.
Might cut down on lag or something if the explosion's mostly off screen. I'm not sure.
Maybe. I don't know. We could ask him if he decides to join us for the post-game interview. I know. I believe Louis also does that, though I'm not. Don't know why Louis does it either. Very nice Trinix fight from Buane.
Absolutely.
Further cementing his lead, not really giving Dao an opportunity. Buane is currently sitting only a few seconds, maybe 20 seconds or so, behind his PB. What is his BB count in his PB? I'm looking on Speedruns. He has it not marked down, so no help there.
Very helpful, yeah.
And let me look on the split time. Looks like he's only got one in his PB. So, gaining some time here in his TR.
Yeah, it looks like 11 seconds off of his PB time. Exiting Turtle Rock.
Yeah. So, needs some good Agate Tower luck. Looks like his GT was pretty close to gold. So, gonna need to replicate that. I don't know where else along the line. Maybe a very
friendly Ganon with a few warps. And it looks like Dao is opting to get the bomb there in Turtle Rock, as you mentioned, in the Peg Maze. So he's good on his bomb again. And Dao is having a really nice Turtle Rock as well. Again, it's at this point not enough just to have a good split. You need something else to happen, but he's still doing his part, at least here in Turtle Rock, to not lose any more time.
Oh, we didn't get to see the double poke. We did see the single poke. I'm sure Duck is grinding his teeth. Did notice that. So I'm not positive on how if Wayne watches the restreams or watches his opponent or anything like that, and sort of makes adjustments as he's playing. But we did see that we can see that he did not talk to the old man for the GT climb. So if there was any thought that he might be playing safer for the win, does not seem to look like the case. We'll definitely know if he does the NMG strat in the spike floor.
Yeah, conversely, it looks like Dao does take the health refill.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's just that same idea, right? You're far enough behind that you just have to hope that Buane does something to give it to you. So you might as well not do something on your side to fail it. But look like we are seeing Buane do the safer strat through there.
Yeah, of course, the health refill from the old man is such a minor time loss, and it lets you very safely do the more aggressive spike floor strat that might be what Dao opts to do normally. So it might just be, for him, this particular strat might just be sticking with what he knows. Interesting spike pit strategy from Buane.
That's a I don't know if it's a Buane original, but it's definitely something that Buane has been doing for basically all of his Zelda career.
Yeah, it was certainly well executed. I mean, not taking damage is pretty much always faster there than taking damage, so it's like he got through no problem.
Yeah. I believe when Duck and crew were creating the tutorial, they wanted to have a link to a run that people, just a full run that people could use to sort of be like, hey, here's a very high tier run that people could look at that basically follows what we're talking about in here, just to show you everything working. And at the time, Buane was the world record holder for this category, and I believe Duck was after looking at his run and seeing all the swamp clip and the that spike room and whatnot. He was a little hesitant about putting Buane up there. Because there are a lot of...
What's this tutorial? I've never heard of this before.
Yeah, I've never heard of the tutorial.
For this category? Should I have read that?
Yeah. Buane definitely has a lot of Buane-isms in his runs. Kind of passed over, but you were right. We saw from Dao the NMG version of that spike room.
It looks like a little divergence with the key routing as well. Buane got the torch key, so he was able to skip the Helm Sword key there. Whereas Dao only has one going up. He's going to have to do the Helm Sword key, or he might opt to do the NMG one in the pre-Moldorm chest, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I doubt it.
That's not very popular for this category. It's a little slower.
I feel like Zelda is really the only one that goes for that particular key.
Yeah, if you're not getting the magic refill, you lose some of the efficiency of getting that.
Right, absolutely. onto our Aga 2 fight. I didn't really see. Ooh, almost got the triple. Unfortunate. Ended up with looked like a 4 cycle. So Buane pretty much on his way to a victory here. Yep, and did not fall into Ganon's pit. Daotmb still delete Aga 2. Well,
Is that a thing?
it may be, but it's not a restricted major
allowed.
glitches thing. Yeah, so here we are, Dao picking up the helmet key.
One final chest turn from Buane. Finish off strong.
Excellent, excellent. Ooh,
Nice
and the
magic
nice magic
refill,
refill. Unfortunately, no fairy drop at the beginning to save a pretty significant time.
Yeah, his hearts are in really good shape, though, so it's still going to save a little bit of time on the refill versus the full magic bar. But you're right, you want to get the fairy. Ideally, you get the fairy and the magic drop, and that way you very short refill.
That went from a 0 to a 3, so... So here we are, the last bit of... Well, I was going to say the last bit of RNG, but that's not true. There's still Ganon warps. But,
You could see the fabled 52 Ganon warps, or whatever the record is currently.
I believe there is a... Someone could enlighten us in chat with what the current record is for Ganon warps. Excellent. Thank you, Yoho.
So, do you get mad if you get 69 Ganon warps? Is that just nice enough that you take it and you're fine with that?
I mean, if I was on a dead run that I was just finishing out, I'd be happy with it.
Right.
If I was on PB pace and I got 69 warps, I would be pretty frustrated. Or if I was in this tournament and got 69 warps, I'd be pretty frustrated.
Yeah, 68 would just be outright. You don't want that. That looked like I wasn't counting. I forget to count every time I'm in the Aga fight. I have trouble counting when other people are in there. It's just such a auto scroller of a fight. Was that 3 blue balls?
I'm gonna have to also plead the fifth and say that I was not counting.
It was at least 2. I don't know if it was 3 or 2 or 4, somewhere around there.
69.
Oh, okay.
Excellent. We actually have a different job, commentating.
Yeah, if you want to hear commentators count, go to Link to the Past Rando and watch the Ganon's Tower segment of the race.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you get your counting commentary.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. The current tournament here on Zelda Speedruns is cross key, so that doesn't even come up in that.
Hilarious.
So obviously, cross key's objectively the better game mode because of that.
Dao just sitting in the lightning phase here.
Might as well with the fairy drop on his side and not getting the magic drop. He has to wait for the refill anyway.
A heated argument in chat. We're gonna have a little issues on this phase 4, but still gonna be doing fine. Not gonna make the 111 or 110 with this run, but gonna be a pretty low 111. And in just a few moments, we got Buane coming in with a victory in an official SRL time of 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 14 seconds. GG's to Buane. Pretty darn nice run.
Yeah, absolutely. No real major issues anywhere. There's honestly the pod split was probably the most problematic early on. We had a couple of issues.
Yeah,
I would say, but other than that, not really any big hiccups.
Yep, pretty consistent run from Buane. We're gonna see if we can get him in for an interview. In the meantime, I'm gonna be watching Dao. Doesn't have much further to complete his run. And with that ping, we are joined by Buane. GG's on the run and the victory.
Hey guys.
Congrats on being the first one into the grand finals.
Yeah, not too much to really complain about this run. It was decent. Not first for me, I think, in the tournament. A mostly solid run until the last 2 splits. But when's that not the case?
Right. Yeah. But yeah. There's not really much. There's not really any big hiccups or anything to really grind on. You did have a pretty hot, if I can look correctly, with our resolution's a little low running through ZSR, so it's kind of hard to see. But it looks like your TR was pretty hot.
Yeah, it's I actually got a gold T-Rock in my warm-up this morning.
Okay.
This one was slightly better, but yet again threw it away in the Peg Maze. But yeah, T-Rock was real nice. Ice Palace was real nice until I couldn't pull a statue right before Cold Stare.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of good splits. Like I saved time in 6 of 7 splits versus my PB immediately after Hera. So the mid game, which can really spiral out of control in this category, was pretty decent, and I will take that every time.
Absolutely. Also joined by Dow, coming in with an official SRL time of 1 hour 13 minutes and 5 seconds. GG's to Dow.
Yo, G.
It
GG.
was not good, but like I lost over a minute in Mire because
Right.
I forgot what to do, and then the clips were terrible. And so
Yeah, did your brain just click to NMG mode?
I was too impressed by Buane's play to pay attention to my own gameplay.
That's the trap I fell into with Eri. So you could have learned. I barely even opened your stream this time. I was like, if he's doing great, I don't want to see it. If he's doing terrible, I really don't want to see it. So
Yeah,
just kind of in the dark.
we were gonna ask because you didn't take the old man refill before going into GT. We were gonna ask if you were paying attention to Dow's stream, but I guess that kind of confirms that you weren't looking, weren't adjusting or anything like that.
I didn't want to know. I did look after Pod. I just,
Okay.
just to see did anybody die to Helma? Because
Yeah.
I just want to. I want to. I guess it really doesn't matter either way. But obviously, I just want to see. Okay, we got a race. I'm not going to open up the stream again. If he's doing great. If he's not doing great, I don't want that to affect too much. I really had some trouble against Eri where I luckily found myself way out in front early and kind of shied away from a lot of normal strats.
Yeah.
And it went really badly. So the way I figured, the old man hearts for GT are super nice as a safety. I could just do the safe Michael Jackson room.
Yeah.
Which I normally don't do. I would just normally go for that. And if I die in GT with 7 hearts going up gauntlet, then it's my own damn fault. So I can't really get that mad.
Okay. Yeah, and Dow, you obviously the main thing we talked about was Meyer. But yeah, just all throughout, they were just little issues here and there. Did you feel any nervous in the run? Were you? It said you said you were watching Buane's play. Were you feeling distracted or anything? Because felt like this wasn't one of your better runs.
Maybe, but like I also just haven't been playing much recently.
Yeah.
Don't like the feel of my controllers, but it's not really easy to get a new one right now.
Right. I was going to point that out. I told the story of you mashing on the controllers at GDQ and almost left plus righting at the beginning of the run. You were constantly looking left and right when you're in pumping situations. So I was wondering if you were.
Actually, it's actually my A button. Every controller that feels like garbage, and things just like the boots clips or even dashing is not great.
It's so hard when you don't trust your controller. Like even if it's not at a point where it's really betraying you all the time, when it's in your head that it is, like it's the worst feeling.
Right. Yeah, I also noticed Buane. You're having some issues with spin speeds.
Oh man, yeah.
In your run.
Well, what as Greenham likes to describe this category as, like you do all the execution, you step up to the end, and you pull the slot machine and see what kind of RNG you're going to get. I like to think of it as you boot up the category and you're pulling the slot machine already, seeing, okay, is it going to be mirror wraps today? Is it going to be boot flips today? Is it going to be spin speeds? What's it going to be? Just basic messing up NMG stuff. Like, let's find out, where's the wheel going to stop? So today it was spin speeds. And, in the grand scheme of things, that's not the worst thing to be messing up in this run. So, maybe not the best result, but not the worst result.
Yeah, and you got some of the important ones like the in the desert split on that clip around the parabomber. That's the one you don't want to fail, right? So you don't get bombed.
You know, it's funny. I never miss that spin speed for whatever reason. That one it should be the one you miss more, right? Because that's the one that has like a timer on it, and you might just die. Never miss that. But like just stand still on Death Mountain, go into Zora, do a spin speed. No dead rocks are bothering you, and you flub it. So go figure.
Well, it's your strat, so it's advertisement for your strat. You can't be screwing that up. You've got to show it off. You've got to show it off.
be on restream and like dying there or something. Like, would we ever get apathy to let me forget that if that happened?
Yep.
Speaking of Buane strats, I got to figure out how you do Spike Room Buane in GT because people always ask me, they're like, "How do you do Spike Room?" And I'm like, "This is how I do it." And they're like, "But I see Buane do it this way." I got no idea how Buane does it. He just makes it up.
Definitely not the fastest way to do it, but I am partial to that strat from the good old or bad old rando days. So we have stuck with it, and we will be sticking with it mostly because I'm too lazy to learn the actual strat.
So with the victory, Buane, you, like I said at the very beginning, you are on to the grand finals, and you've actually got a little bit of a couple matches that you get to take off and watch because we're still needing both the Andy Louie match to finish up, Dao to face off. The Andy Louie match to finish off. Then the winner of that needs to play Eri, and then the winner of that faces Dao for the shot at redemption against Buane. Because let's see, Buane, you've taken out 2 of the 3.
Yeah,
2 of the 4 people.
Both Eri and now Dao
today. Yeah.
Luckily, nothing bad has ever happened to anyone running AD when they take like 3 weeks off to wait for other matches. So it'll be real easy.
Yeah, just coast it out.
That'll be my next run.
Coast it out. Just
very easy category when you get rusty. It's just a super easy category, right? It's no worry at all. But yeah, look, we've been. I could just record myself the last like three interviews that I've done for this tournament. Everybody in the tournament has been good. That's been true for like the last 5 rounds. It's great to have taken a win off everybody that I've taken a win off. And if I get to take one more win, that's great. If I don't, well, then I had a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, all the wins except for the duck one, which
was guaranteed.
Just a walkover.
Look, I heard a rumor. I might have been more nervous about that match than any of the other matches, though.
Oh, wow.
So, speaking of nervous, oh my god, man! Citrus was on the line in this run. I have never had so much pressure, and it wasn't pretty, but I did save time. So.
You did save time. I don't know if I have any more questions. Ace, did you have anything else that you wanted to ask either of our runners?
No, I don't think so. Just thanks to both you guys for the great runs.
I have a question.
Go for it, Trez.
When will the Pessy duck hate stop?
When will the duck hate stop? Hate is a strong word. It's more a playful ribbing.
We have to give as good as we get from apathy. Right. That's all. He wouldn't respect us if we didn't. That's the honest truth, right?
Absolutely.
Make the duck 100%. Great again 2020. Anyways, yeah. I guess that wraps it up for the winners bracket final. And, well, we're closing in, guys. This makes... Am I correct? Does this make Buane the first grand finalist of the tournament?
Yes.
That's correct.
Yes, I am. So, yeah. You gotta be waiting now for your opponent, and that's gonna be either Daotmb or Andy or Louie or Arior or... Wait.
Yeah, just 4. Yeah, you got them all.
Okay.
Andy, Louie, Ari, or Dao for against Buane.
Yep.
We actually have the Andy Louie match coming up in just a couple more, just 2.5 more hours. Coming up on ZeldaSpeedRuns, the main channel.
Yes. Ricky's gonna take that one.
Having to wait. So, let's say it's 2-3 weeks before we play again. I get to watch these really good matches right here on Zelda. That kick back and watch some good Zelda.
Sounds good to me. I hope you're all gonna be back for that one. And now I'm gonna throw a curveball and not send you all to watch A Link to the Past Randomizer, but instead go watch the Minish Cap Randomizer, because, something else. I hope you all enjoyed it. We're gonna be back later. Thank you so much to M. Kosler and to Ace for doing the commentary, and to the runners for putting up a great show. And Hey, music is finishing as we speak, so that's perfect for me. So let's wrap it up. Thank you all for watching. Take care.
See you.